Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never imagined that love could feel so heavy, so suffocating, until the moment I realized I had walked away from him, the one man who had truly, completely loved me. My name is Emily, and I was 29 when I first met Daniel. He was kind, patient, and the sort of man who made the world seem safer just by being near. Tall, dark-haired, with a soft smile that could calm storms. He was everything I thought I wanted. And at the time, I did want him, but I wanted something else too. Something louder, flashier, a thrill that I convinced myself was excitement. Our beginning was gentle, almost painfully perfect. He would bring me coffee in the mornings before work, leave little notes on my car, and listen to me for hours about everything and nothing. I had dated before, men who were thrilling in the moment, but fleeting in loyalty. Daniel was different, steady, real, unwavering, but I didn't see it then. I thought I needed more than stability. I thought I could have adventure, passion, and security all at once, without compromise. It started with small things. I noticed my mind wandering when he held my hand, when he laughed at my jokes. I started comparing him to men I barely knew, men who made a grand gesture or whispered promises of danger and excitement. Daniel never raised his voice, never tried to impress me with flashy words or over-the-top displays. He was consistent, solid, and somehow, in my restless heart, that became boring. Then I met Alex. He was everything Daniel wasn't: daring, spontaneous, unpredictable. The first time he smiled at me across the crowded bar, my chest fluttered in a way I hadn't felt with Daniel in months. Alex had a reckless charm, a way of making every moment feel urgent and intoxicating. And I, selfish and naive, was drawn to it like a moth to flame. I told myself I could keep both worlds separate, the steady love of Daniel and the thrilling pull of Alex. But life doesn't work in halves. I began to pull away without telling Daniel. I canceled plans, brushed off calls, made excuses. Each lie was a knife in his chest, though he never complained, never shouted. His disappointment was silent but palpable, like a shadow that followed me everywhere. And yet, I convinced myself I was justified. I wanted to feel alive. I wanted passion. I wanted to chase a version of love I didn't even know existed, and I believed it was worth the cost. The tipping point came one rainy evening in April. Daniel had planned a quiet night for us, dinner at our favorite Italian restaurant. Just the two of us, the way he always thought of everything down to the smallest detail. I sat across from him, my phone buzzing in my purse with messages from Alex, laughing at things that weren't funny. Daniel's eyes searched mine, trying to connect, trying to find the Emily he loved. But I couldn't give him that. I didn't want to give him that. I don't feel like myself lately, I told him, not entirely lying. I think I need space to figure things out. He nodded, a flicker of hurt crossing his features, but he smiled. Whatever you need, Emily, I'll support you. And that was it. That gentle, unwavering support broke me more than any argument ever could. He didn't fight. He didn't beg. He just loved me quietly, completely, and I walked away. That night, I left the restaurant and drove Alex's apartment, feeling a rush of excitement I hadn't felt in months. But the thrill came with a bitter aftertaste. I noticed, almost immediately, the stark contrast, the calm, patient love I had abandoned versus the fleeting sparks of this new attraction. But I shoved that thought away. I told myself I deserved it. Weeks turned into months. I indulged in the new excitement, reveling in stolen afternoons, whispered secrets, an illusion of a life that sparkled. But late at night, when I was alone in my apartment, I would remember Daniel's smile, the way he made me feel safe without even trying, and a knot would tighten in my chest. Not regret exactly, something sharper, colder. I had chosen this, and I couldn't undo it. Then came the day I realized the consequences. My friends, once supportive, began to drift. They had adored Daniel. They understood what I had left behind. They asked questions I didn't want to answer, and I found myself growing isolated. The apartment that once felt like freedom began to feel like a cage. Alex was thrilling, yes, but unreliable. I couldn't count on him to be there when I needed someone, to stand quietly by me like Daniel had. And slowly, the excitement curdled into emptiness. I thought I was chasing happiness, but I had only traded stability for chaos. And the worst part was Daniel didn't hate me. He didn't curse my name or shout about betrayal. He simply carried on, carrying the weight of my choices in silence. And I, blinded by my desire for something more, failed to see the treasure I had lost until it was gone. And that's when the first real pang of fear hit me. The understanding that some things, once given up, might never return. The man who truly loved me was gone, or at least, he no longer belonged to me. And as I sat there in the dim glow of my apartment, I understood the cruelest truth. I had lost everything that truly mattered. The next few days were unbearable. I tried to convince myself that I had made the right choice, that the excitement I felt with Alex was worth the pain of leaving Daniel behind. But deep down, I knew it was a lie. The apartment felt colder, emptier, and every time my phone buzzed, I flinched, half hoping it was him, half dreading it. Then came the moment that shattered everything. I had been at Alex's apartment, laughing at a joke he barely made, when my phone rang. It was Daniel. My heart leapt, a mix of relief and panic. I wanted to ignore it, wanted to let the past fade quietly, but something inside me compelled me to answer. "Emily," he said, his voice calm, steady, like it had always been. I wanted to hear from you. Are you okay?" The words should have comforted me, but they didn't. They tore open the wound I had tried to hide. "I'm fine," I lied, my voice trembling. "Really? I see," he said quietly. There was a pause, heavy and deliberate. "You walked away from me. I didn't beg. I didn't fight. I just let you go." I swallowed hard, my chest tightening. I wanted to say something, anything, to explain myself, but the truth was unbearable. I had no explanation that could justify abandoning the one man who loved me wholly and without condition. Days passed, and my life with Alex began to unravel faster than I could keep up. The thrill I had chased so eagerly started to feel hollow. He was charming, unpredictable, exciting, but also reckless, irresponsible, and at times cruel. I realized how much I had taken Daniel's patience and care for granted. The realization was slow, like a drip of cold water on my skin, until it became unbearable. And then the news hit me like a lightning strike. Daniel had moved on, not quickly, not recklessly, but in a way that left no space for me to slip back in. He had met someone new, a woman who appreciated his quiet strength, his steady presence, a woman who didn't compare him to thrill-seekers or crave chaos. And Daniel, who had loved me through every silent heartbreak, had found a version of happiness I had destroyed for myself. I tried to reach out, at first with cautious texts, then a call. Each time, he responded politely, distantly, but never with the warmth I remembered. My heart twisted with every word he wrote, every polite refusal. The man I had abandoned, the one who had loved me through the darkest, most ordinary days, was now living a life I could no longer touch. I felt the weight of my choices pressed down harder than ever. My friends' whispers, once just observations, became undeniable truths. I had traded certainty for chaos, love for fleeting excitement, and in doing so, had lost the very foundation of my happiness. One evening, as I sat alone in my apartment, staring at the empty coffee mug Daniel had once brought me, I understood the full depth of my mistake. The thrill of Alex was gone. The excitement I had craved felt shallow and meaningless. And Daniel had been my anchor, the one person who truly loved me without condition. But I had walked away. And now, nothing could bring him back. I tried to rebuild, to find solace in my choices, but every attempt fell hollow. The nights were long, filled with memories of Daniel's smile, the warmth of his presence, and the quiet strength that had carried me through years I now realized were precious. I had destroyed that trust, that unwavering love, with my own impatience, my own desire for more. And then, the final blow came, a stark reminder of how reality has a way of punishing reckless hearts. Alex, the man I had run to for excitement, revealed the truth I had ignored in my blind pursuit. He had been dishonest from the start, charming me with illusions while hiding secrets that could have shattered me further. The life I had chosen was not only empty, it was dangerous. I had fled safety and love only to stumble into deceit and betrayal. I sat there, the weight of the truth pressing down on me, understanding something painfully clear. I had lost everything that truly mattered. Daniel was gone, unshakable in his calm dignity, and I was left with nothing but the hollow echoes of my own choices. The realization was suffocating, a bitter taste that no thrill could mask. Weeks later, I ran into Daniel at a small cafe. He was with her, laughing softly at something she said. I froze, the world tilting in slow motion. He looked up briefly, noticed me, and for a moment our eyes met. There was no anger in his gaze, no longing, only a quiet acknowledgement of the past. He was happy. He had moved on, just as life had marched forward, leaving me behind. I wanted to speak, to explain, to apologize, but the words caught in my throat. There was nothing to say that could undo the choice I had made, nothing that could bring back the man who had loved me entirely. I walked past him, my steps heavy, each one a reminder of my own folly. And in that moment, the final truth sank in, sharper than any heartbreak I had known. Love, when given wholly, cannot be reclaimed once abandoned. I had walked away from the one man who had truly loved me and lost everything. I went home that night, my apartment silent, the thrill of past excitement gone. I understood the cost of my impatience, my desire for the ephemeral over the eternal, and though I tried to numb the ache, the lesson would remain with me forever. Some loves are once in a lifetime, and when lost, they leave a void no substitute can ever fill.